What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Urban Hermit Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
And we're talking about some of our favorite musical numbers. In particular, it seems like our favorite melodic. Jordan's talking Joseph of the Technicolor. Oh my God, my mouth failed. Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, saying it doesn't have good music.
No, I'm not saying that the music's not good. It's just, it's like too much and it's not drawing me in.
And red and green.
Oh, this is kind of funny.
Blue and orange.
We were going over colors or doing something stupid with Avery. And I'm like, I got the perfect song for this, Megs. Just wait. And I started playing that, and I didn't know exactly where that came in, and it's way at the end of the song. I'm like, don't worry, it's coming.
Joseph and the amazing Technicolor.
Oh, did I miss amazing?
You missed it.
I'm not sure if we've ever told this story on this show, but I'll say it again, and we'll probably say it like 10 more times. But, Mark, did you hear about the ice skating fiasco ever? I'm sure you have.
Oh, jeez.
Of what? Just a bra? What?
So there was this one time we were in Des Moines visiting family, and randomly our mom.
I'm like a fifth grader. Cameron's probably like a third or second grader. So we're pretty young children.
We're pretty young, and mom's randomly like, "Hey, we're in Des Moines. Guess what? We're going ice skating. First time for everybody. None of us have been ice skating." And we're like, "Holy shit! This is going to be awesome." So the whole time we're getting hyped for it. We drive there.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about ice skating before you've ever ice skated? Like, oh, I'm going to be sliding across.
I don't know. It's just like, it's going to be fun and new. I've never tried before. For all I know, I could be a pro figure skater.
And this is what's interesting and what's funny about this lie is Cameron and I are probably not in the family, like the planning process of any of this stuff. But we were definitely like, so we are going ice skating. And they're like, yeah, but you're going to want to wear your khakis. And
you're coming along.
You're going to want to wear your khakis and sweaters. I'm like, okay, that's
for some reason, that wasn't a red flag. We had to get dressed up first. But so
just to be safe, you're going to want to toss a turtleneck under that sweater. That was what could happen.
Maybe it was going to be cold. Maybe we just wanted to layer sweaters because it's cold on the ice, Jordan. We didn't know. So we essentially, long story short, we pull up to a theater, and it's a national production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. But the fit that was thrown by me and Jordan, because, I mean, we come from, as you may know, a musical family. Our mom put on local music. What am I looking for? Amateur community theater. We've seen a lot of plays, but do you know what we hadn't done? Ice skating. Yeah, and that was taken from us.
It was the deception.
Now you might be wondering, did we end up having an awesome time?
A great time. It's an entertaining play.
Turns out it was a great play, but like up until the time it started, furious, just furious.
I don't know why they lied, and it wasn't like the whole family was being lied to. It was just Cameron and I, because everybody else knew.
Everyone else knew. Yeah, if they would have told us we were seeing a play, we probably just would have been okay with it.
Or indifferent.
Tagged along.
Yeah, indifferent.
Oh, fine.
Best.
Normal.
Just normal outing. Okay,
shit.
I get it. I understand why we're all wearing turtlenecks.
They made you walk by the ice rink?
No, there was no ice rink at all. That was just a bold lie.
To think that could have been the day that I became a hockey player, but we'll never know.
And now, Mark, to put that in perspective, the first time I went ice skating was with you when we used to compete in DI, Destination Imagination, and we would go to the Iowa Coleridge Mall and ice skate there. So my first time ice skating had to be 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere in there.
Yeah, right around there. First carousel for me, too.
Really? Never had on a carousel before?
First carousel. Yeah, nope.
I feel like that's something you do at a younger age.
Maybe Disney if you count like. Do you count like teacups as like a?
No,
okay. That's a little something different.
Teacups.
Yeah, okay, got it.
What was the first big ride you went on? Would you say your first, not necessarily roller coaster, but do you remember your first like amusement park ride?
I can remember the first time I didn't get to go on a ride. I have a more distinct memory that way.
I think I know this because I was probably there.
This is like 94. I'm like a 3rd grader, so I'm barely tall enough. Could I get on the ride? Could I not? This was in the height of Six Flags in the greater Chicagoland area, the original Batman ride. I waited all the way thinking maybe I get to go on that ride. And I get there, and it's like...
Just for some context for you, that ride's still there. And one of my favorites, because it's just Tim Burton's Batman just decorated. I mean,
it's the same thing.
What
playing just
are you,
Prince music?
Are you laid down? Are you standing up? Or your legs dangling?
Legs
What's
are
that?
dangling. I
seating,
think.
just a strap-in seating roller coaster. It was from like
Okay.
late '80s, it was from the early '90s. So
But like when I was in this line for the first time, this had just come out. I'm probably a third grader. I'm like, oh, I gotta be tall enough. This is gonna be the best. I get up to the line. There's probably what seemed like at the time an adult worker who was probably just a 13-year-old.
16 to 8, yeah, like 18 at most.
Just a kid's like, sorry, kid, can't ride the ride. And, I just got to wait on the outside, probably with Dad and Cameron, because Cameron wasn't tall enough, probably. Anyway, like.
Cameron actually might have been tall.
He probably got a ride on it.
That kid was a beast.
Yeah,
I was
tall.
definitely wearing husky jeans by then.
But the great thing is, I did get to redeem it.
Tall and
Like
wide.
15 years later, when I moved to Chicago, I did go on the ride. No lines, because it had been out for 20 years, but still had the Prince soundtrack. I listened to Party Man as I swiftly went through.
It's still classic as ever. Funny enough, I might have been that Six Flags trip, or we were somewhere else, but while you were getting disappointed, it was my first roller coaster ever, and it was just one of those kid ones that just goes like up and down. But I'll never forget this. I was on with our mom, and I remember her being like, "Oh, how was your first roller coaster?" And if you could have gotten like a picture of me on that ride, I was just so unimpressed. I was like, we were just going up and down. This is bullshit." And it was immediately after that we went to Disney, and I was big enough just to go on big people rides and just do everything. Shortly after that.
Well, you're gonna make me sound like a wimp.
You're not a roller coaster
I
person.
hate coasters. And here's why. In the Wisconsin Dells, there's 3 wooden coasters that kind of go up in succession of kind of like whatever intimidation. It starts with like Pegasus, kind of your easy ride, then Cyclops, and then Zeus. My first roller coaster ever was Zeus.
And these are wooden roller coasters,
Just a wooden coaster, like
Wooden coasters,
they
jostle you pretty good.
They're scarier.
They jostle you.
They're shaky. They're rickety.
So ever since, I've just been like, I just hated coasters.
I feel like wooden roller coasters also have a lot of low beams where that dip where you feel like you're going to hit it. As a tall person and hearing horror stories of decapitations, not a fan.
And then I assume as you guys, Cameron, I guess you were bigger for a kid, but most of the time
6'3". It's not like I'm a giant,
No, but like you were always
For my
tall
age,
for your
yeah.
grade. Now you're just normal, whatever.
Jesus.
But you probably rode roller coasters with like older siblings.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much
like-
the whole time. I mean, when we first started going to theme parks at like 7,
Equal
I
size.
was big enough to ride everything.
But
so I just
someone
did.
like Mark, you probably like a normal size or smaller kid, so like you would get leaned into or tossed around in those things, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And just the
Again,
smell,
Huskies.
the wafting smell of
I
like
was
the
snug in
Euro
there.
stand next. Oh my
I'll tell you what. I think the first like nervous roller coaster I was, and again we were probably pretty young, was Space Mountain in Disney World.
I still will not fuck with Space Mountain. I will say I've gotten my chops back up. I'm getting back on roller coasters. I did it last summer. I actually really enjoyed some of the smaller ones at like Disney. So
I'm going to tell you this,
We're
Mark.
working
You
back
don't
up.
want Space Mountain because 1, it's in the dark. 2, it's pretty close to a wooden roller coaster where it's herky jerky, and plus the dark factor, you're just getting whipped in the dark.
darkness. Yeah, that's not even just. That's just
I
fun.
still like roller coasters, but as I've gotten older and I haven't been to an amusement park in a handful of years, it's all the rides now are like screens.
True.
Like the motion movement, those ones fuck with
It's
me
all
now.
like 3D in perspective. And
I'm still
just,
cool
like,
with
weird
roller
effects.
coasters. Those don't mess with me too much, but the screen ones, I can't do anymore.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah,
is like
and
that too. It's just kind of like an immersive.
Yeah, everything's
Those
getting
ones
just
make
like
me
that
way
immersive
more
thing.
Disney.
I can do a loop. I can do most things. If you put me in a barrel roll and I twist, it fucks with my inner ear, and my equilibrium is done for like an hour after that. So
Universally,
that corkscrew gets me.
if you take me to any amusement park, give me their log chute ride. It's my favorite ride in the park. Love it. Love a log chute ride.
Yep.
Love a log chute water ride.
Depending
Anywhere.
on when you do it, because like there's a chafe factor, what you're wearing, time of day.
I've learned this because I'm not a kid anymore. Fucking bring a poncho. Buy a poncho. You'll stay dry and you'll have fun.
Do you want to know the worst part of that though?
Your ass
you're
is gonna
still
be
gonna
wet.
You
sit
got a
in
little damp
puddle.
ass. Grow up. You're at an amusement park. Just keep your crotch
Cameron's right,
dry.
The chafe is real.
The chafe is real. I had my worst one at the same time. Same Six Flags. Had a rough day that day. Couldn't go on the ride. Really chafed. And I'm talking about those ones where like 20 people are in the raft and it's just a wall of water, which are still fun, but
Those are good too. Those are.
it's the type of thing that where there's like the splash goes up to a bridge and just buries dipshits who want to get, sprayed by the water.
Speaking of vacations and stuff, though, This has been a kind of rough week just because Mark and I, we got back from a little mini tour with our band Highwire, but it's similar to coming back from vacation. It's not a good thing coming back to work for me. I'm not more relaxed. I'm so much worse for the first 2 days of just going back to cubicle life, even though I work from home, is the worst. What's your worst return from a vacation?
Ooh, that's a good question. Because if you're on a beach that Saturday, you're like, I am just dreading Monday, but this is so awesome. It's probably got to be
coming back from Christmas break.
Any of those were always bad. We had a few Florida ones in particular that just they were 2-week breaks essentially. So by the end of that week and a half,
you just mean general teenage,
yeah, mostly
even college, Christmas break. That was a good feeling. You're right.
The end of those though was some of the worst feelings. One that post Christmas Boxing Day when it's just it's over, and then on top of that you're going back to the real world. Oh, that's a terrible feeling.
The 26th is kind of maybe the saddest day of the year.
I'm even gonna up you.
You're hearing a couple straggler Christmas songs, and you're like,
See, I was just talking to our bandmate Chris. He wants to hear Christmas songs through New Year's. What's your cutoff for decorations?
It
music?
just isn't the same.
I'm welcoming it for sure, but on the 26th, it's almost eerie.
Christmas is done
haunting.
to me after Christmas morning.
I
The
agree.
come down's real at that point. It's
After
all
you
about
open things-
Even Christmas night, the night of Christmas, you're like, it's not even snowing
Yeah,
anymore.
this is rough.
Roughly
Garbage everywhere?
2 to 3 p.m. on Christmas Day. It's already done. Everyone's just kind of fucking with their gifts, maybe. You come together for a meal and watching things, but the festivities.
House is a mess, wrapping paper.
Yeah,
everywhere.
but
big cleanup.
It's coming to an end. It's coming down, winding down.
I'm excited. Selfishly, this is the first year, so ever since I lived in Chicago, Meg and I would come back and we'd split time between, my family, her family, and all the extended families. But now that we have Avery, we made a rule. We always do Christmas Eve at her family's house, but now it's hey, we'll still do that. We'll do all that stuff, but Christmas morning, we'll be back in our home.
It's here.
So I'm so excited for that, just to wake up and not have to be with anybody else's family, and it'll just be mine.
Now, we didn't have really big Christmases with extended family. How long do you think before you're just having solo Christmases with the singular family?
Never.
Never.
Just Christmas morning, because now especially that we moved back here,
which is crazy to me
The
because
hustle and bustle is kind of fun, just running around. I mean, it sucks at the
I think
time,
it'll be
but you
fun
look back
now.
and,
It's way more fun now because nobody's asking if I'm going to get married or have a kid, because I've got that.
Sure, yeah, you did.
So
it.
it's there
that
you go.
plus you're really not traveling far. Everything's within 45 minutes, so it's not too terrible.
No.
It's all just
how's work going, Dave?
yeah. It's all pretty easy.
No. The only thing is now I can't get as drunk as I could have, because I have to drive.
I have a Shark Tank
They
invention
put
for
a governor
that, but
on
I don't want to
The
say it
kid
on
put
air.
a governor on
for
it.
sure.
You just can't
But what
go full
what
speed
was nice
anymore.
about last year is or 2 years ago, we knew we were pregnant, so I'm I am getting wasted at every chance I can get now for
And
the
you
next
did.
year. I did. Really went for it.
Well, it's all kind of crazy to me, though, not the drunkenness, just because I'm married, but I don't have a kid. But I've already had, I don't know, since high school, maybe 4 or 5 solo Christmases, which sounds sad, but just celebrated at the house without going home. How have you not
could
managed
go
to-
home, though.
Some of those, a lot of it was work related, where it was it'll be annoying to
Yeah.
I'll have a day,
back the next
a day,
day.
maybe 2 off. That'll I don't want to just drive on Christmas.
You've had solo Christmases, bro?
Not so much solo. There's
I
usually
could have stayed back.
there's usually been someone around, even our roommate, bandmate Chris, because of Best Buy and just his work schedule, he usually does Thanksgiving, Christmas late. So
Oh yeah, he's
there's always someone.
doing solo Thanksgivings and
There's
shit like
usually
that.
someone around,
That
but
sucks.
even Nicole, we've just had solo Christmases, but a lot of times she'll have to work even, and I'll just rock the day or the evening by myself, kind of thing. Yeah, I've had a few solo Christmases.
I mean, when I was younger, if I was in a shitty job, this is before the zoo. What was nice about the zoo is they do give you off the 2 weeks. That's pretty sweet.
True.
But when I was younger, I'd be
Their restaurant they used to work at
Yeah,
around Zoo, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, were you feeding the tigers or
what are you talking about?
the zoo?
Sorry.
Right.
Layman's term. Irazu, they gave us the 2 weeks off, and that's nice. So you don't have to scramble. But there was a couple jobs where they're hey, nobody gets off Christmas. I'm I think I quit the job. And I quit the job.
Yeah, it was nice because there was the boss man knew everyone was gonna want to ask time off
Yeah.
for Christmas. So why don't we just give you all a couple weeks off and come back nice and fresh?
It's just better
Which is
that
a
way.
good idea. It really is. I mean, even in high school, like the 2 jobs I worked, a restaurant and the movie theater. The movie theater, you had to work a shift on Christmas and Thanksgiving. It was just like, do you want to work the matinee or the evening for those holidays? And that's how it worked.
It sucks for those people, but those are definitely big.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And honestly, it wasn't too
holidays.
terrible because like throughout high school, our family would just go to the movie I was working at. My boss would let me just watch it with the family. And if I saw someone like going to the concession stand, I would just get up and like help.
I know this is retreaded category, but I totally miss the holiday movie, especially the like Thanksgiving movie. That was a good movie. It disappeared.
Some of my best movie going experiences were like either on or surrounding Thanksgiving or
Great
Christmas.
movie times, and they're gone. Especially like a family friendly, even Oscar in it.
Even if it's like a bad movie.
Yeah.
Like seeing I remember seeing like How the Grinch Stole Christmas around like Thanksgiving. Like I don't know.
It's gone. It's disappeared.
Honestly,
It's
maybe
never
my
gonna
favorite memory of that is when I was working at the theater. The family came in on Thanksgiving to watch the first night at the museum. It
Yeah,
was magical.
such a
It was
good-
also like starting to snow too, and it was perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
That's when
experience.
snow is fine. Like the months leading
when
up
you
to,
want it. Yeah, when you
to Christmas, New Year's. Yep. Well, enough about the weather, am I right?
Jordan, question to you: as someone who owns an orange NASA jumpsuit, have you seen the new NASA spacesuits for the future moon missions?
Hate them.
Oh no,
They've slimmed down.
Flash 'em
They've
my way.
slimmed down considerably. They're a blackish gray.
They're trying to make it like trendy.
Well, not even
They
trendy. It makes
revamped
sense.
it.
It's just like they look like you can move in them now, and they're much sleeker. It looks like they have mobility now.
I know, but it
essentially.
doesn't look like NASA anymore.
No, well, that's
It actually looks like something you'd see in like
a space movie.
like Gravity
Yeah.
or like Martian or something.
Any of that future shit with like a very slim helmet.
Actually, I fuck with that heavily.
Yeah.
That looks so.
Check it out if
sick.
you haven't seen it. But
That is so
NASA has
cool.
new spacesuits for the new missions. It just looks like a movie. I love it.
Can I
It looks like an Under Armour.
Yeah.
Like sponsored.
Can I explain the way this looks? You know when a sports movie has to make up an entire league and make the uniforms for that entirely made up
Sure.
league? That's what it fucking looks like. It just doesn't look official to me.
For now, it's because you're just used to it. It's just.
That's all I'm
What do
saying.
you want? You want white? You want red, white, and blue? What-
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks all right. We're back on the moon, you know.
So would it be better if it was white? It's a black
Or do you
gray.
just
I
want
think you
orange?
want the white. And
Yeah,
orange. I think it's a
it-
color thing. For
So
you.
hear me out. Are you guys in sports now? The alternative uniform? You like every
This
city's
is an alternative. This
uniform?
is still a
The colorway?
This is still
Yeah,
a
the
solid
colorway, but
color.
you
I
guys
knew
are
he was going to
colorway
bring
fan.
it there because I knew he was going to bring it there because every time we play like NBA or NFL, he spends 10 minutes like.
Hey!
configuring
Don't
the,
act like you don't
uniform.
too. I'm the only person that doesn't care.
I do.
You both
Might
love
be
your
I
uniforms.
do.
might be the funnest part of the game for me. Maybe I could just
So
do
fun.
that. Just pick uniforms, never play the game.
Just design.
Like I'd be fine with that.
Jordan, the uniform designer.
It wouldn't be too bad. I've got like, I mean, I'm not the only one with strong opinions on sports uniforms because like I read people's opinions on them, and I'm pretty aligned with like old school people, not new school people. You want to know the thing that's pissed me off the most?
Sure.
Colors versus colors. It used to be white versus a color in every sport, and now it's not like that, and it makes me irate.
You just mean like home
Yeah,
and
I just like home and away that they're.
Yeah, like even in like middle
Yeah.
school, like you pop on your whites. Your
Yeah.
whites.
Now in middle
We
school,
got
God,
the-
they might both be wearing green, and I'm like, fuck off.
We might have talked about it before on the podcast, but famously, my freshman year of high school, our away jerseys were like classic good jerseys. And then for some reason, our home jerseys for the freshman team and our football
Like
team,
practice jerseys.
yeah, they were just those
like mesh.
thin ones. So like everybody ripped their
But
jersey.
mesh with the
immediately in
hole the
game.
size of quarters.
Yeah, like
big,
it was so it's about the size of your fingers to perfectly get through and drag someone down with and tear your new jersey. So like it was just
You guys kind of like looked intimidating though. Like
No.
maybe like a junkyard
Oh,
dog.
yeah, yeah.
we looked
They're
just like an
is
'80s
this
ragtag.
Is this the school for the
rag- yeah,
Is
this
this
is
the
a
school of the
ragtag bunch of
criminy bad
juvies.
boys? Is this the bad boys school? Like
That-
no, it's just West Delaware. They're having budget cuts.
Honest to God, that plus my 2 big shoulder pads because I got an old pair,
Well,
'cause I-
everybody had too big a shoulder pads.
yeah, but mine were real big. It just turned my mesh shirt into a crop top, so I look like a fucking '80s like cliche.
I know you can't.
You couldn't even turn your head past like 45 degrees.
I wasn't cool enough to have a
To, like,
cowboy
catch a
collar.
pass.
It's weird. Like I wasn't like
great.
I wasn't like super good at sports, but I played sports, right? I'd love to put on a pair like a football uniform now just to see what it feels like in comparison to what I was. I wore like chainmail essentially compared to what they're doing today. They got SpaceX shit. Like,
yeah, they've got the new NASA shit. Does every school have an orange helmet guy?
Okay, we're going to have to put that into context. The orange helmet at our high school was the big helmet meant for the big-headed people.
So,
but specifically, if you were in middle school, it was like the high school size
Cameron,
helmets.
In middle school, our team, everybody had a white helmet, and they were made for middle school heads, like still developmenting kids. But there'd be an occasional kid that like went through puberty and was like an 18-year-old when you were 12. They'd have to wear a high school helmet.
Mustache.
They had a mustache. They had really hairy legs, and I don't know, they were men. So there'd be this whole football team of middle schoolers with white helmets, and then you'd have that one guy that's just six inches taller than everybody with the high school helmet. That happened to be orange.
That got off the bus, and everyone on the away
What is
team.
stunning is that they just couldn't find a white extra large helmet.
I don't know what they do.
They went quick, or it was an accident. Why did it always have to be a different
Because they make
color?
that size of helmet easy, but they make it in the adult size. So instead of them buying a special big child helmet, they're like, let's just get a small.
Just grab one.
From the high school. That's a money-saving tactic for sure.
Okay.
I don't recall other schools having it as distinctly of us, but they must have, right?
Or they had bigger budgets. Honestly, because I don't remember other helmets sticking out that much.
Or probably
I
just
see like a random blue. Yeah, you see a random one every.
Yeah, every once in a while. It's just ours.
It's not common. But
ours was the orange helmet. It's typically whatever the school dominant color is that like person's head.
I think the only thing I think the
color.
difference is our school's middle school had white helmets, and most other middle schools had the color helmet
team
they have in
color
high
anyway.
school. So it was just an easier transition.
So it wasn't a big change.
I wonder if kids do that now.
Big point of pride though, because we had white helmets, it was very easy to get like the helmet smear from the other teams. So I do remember every season trying to collect, even though I should not have been leading with my
Yeah, it was
head.
just CTE.
Yeah, just all the different colors.
Look at all the
jerseys
CTE you've
That's what
got.
they taught you back then. That's what they taught you. Lead with the head.
I got a lot of that. I never got a concussion that I knew of.
I've said it before, but I only got dizzy once, and it was a tackling drill, so I did it to myself. So not the proudest.
Jordan, you think you're zero concussions? In
Oh, I'm sure that we had like the rapid like head concussions, but I didn't get like knocked out and don't remember.
What does that mean? What is
I've
that?
never, you're still not supposed to get a lot of light taps.
So
I
what
think.
we've learned over the last 10 years
really?
is that like, if you just have contact with, if your head shakes,
That ain't good.
it's not good for your brain, right? The same is true in all sports, but football's the worst. And I actually hear soccer's pretty bad.
I hear
'cause you
soccer's-
do
yeah, the
so
head-
many
yeah.
headers, right? It shakes.
Just the headers?
Yeah, they're
Oh
like,
my
it's
God,
really bad
yeah.
for you. So I think they're trying to make rules that under a certain age, you just don't practice or do headers in
It's
games.
funny that you
or
say that
practice.
because all through football, no problems. But soccer, the few times I did like a huge lob header, immediately saw stars and like
Yeah, that
not
would
like
hurt like hell to me.
oh yeah, it hurt. Some of them
But
really did. Worse than
in football, I don't remember ever getting like a real concussion. I saw people get real concussions.
I feel like we were the last wave of kids who didn't get to play tackle football before like 7th grade.
Oh yeah, we didn't have Pop
Like-
Warner in our school.
No.
I feel-
maybe it probably existed in like Texas.
Yeah,
like in
to say,
South,
I
but,
feel like the South is pretty regular with that, but the Midwest, you really didn't have like
But now
peewee.
you can put kids in pads at like 8 years old.
I will tell you what's a
I feel
little
like that's
different.
gonna revert though and go back because of CT and brains. I feel like that was a nice little pop up.
sure.
That's gonna go away.
I feel like over the last 15 years, though, we were some of the last people to, hey, you guys are just going to line up and tackle each other all practice, and we're not going to give you water, and we're going to have like 3 a days.
Funny enough, I started in the people were
hated
dying
that.
from heat exhaustion. So actually,
Yeah, that was big for us.
yeah, water was big for us, but head stuff wasn't yet. We weren't there.
We've definitely talked about this, but a good sip of water is out of those little troughs.
Those
like
PVC pipes with
mid-football
holes
Oh,
in it
yeah.
and a hose hooked
Yeah.
up.
That was, I don't know why, like that tastes just even out of just the hose.
I can
You
tell
wanna
you one
know
thing.
what
I didn't like being so close to other people's faces.
Sure. Yeah, no one does. You
It's a
always
lot-
hate it. You always have that kid on the team that's willing to put his lips on it and
Yep,
suck
yep.
the water out and ruin
Or-
the water
or
pressure,
blow.
for everybody.
I can tell you
guy.
exactly who it was. I won't
him
say it, but
Oh, I got my name in head. Yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly who it
You're
was.
gonna
I already
say
got to do some beeping, so let's not do any more.
No, I
I,
won't say
I
it.
have a question
Oh,
for you.
shit.
A would you rather I came across earlier. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into the future or rewind 10 minutes into the past? So I either essentially be able to avoid things or go back and just fix it. Yeah.
Fix it.
Or,
Just
Because 10 minutes into the future isn't that much.
Like, you could do this
well,
anytime.
it's
Like,
the same
what does
time
this
a lot of
mean?
time. Either you can look ahead in the future to see what will happen, or you can just live it and rewind 10 minutes.
Rewind 10. You never
do this once
you
a
never
year?
make a mistake if you have the 10 minutes back.
Yeah, I guess that is true. It'd be easier just
You
to
can
like
cheat at poker. I guess you could cheat anywhere, but
True. I mean, the only
Gamble.
thing I have to say is like maybe it's a Rick and Morty scenario where every single possibility did happen and therefore you're a monster. But
well, at that point, well, good. Then that's it. That's your answer. Like that negates anything we're talking about.
But definitely,
Mark, what do you say?
The rewind definitely does seem better, even from just you're not paying attention kind of thing,
get-
like an unplanned, like
How many do I get? Just the one?
unlimited.
No, you couldn't do it. You'd have to do it like once, like every.
10 minutes.
I was thinking like a year
Oh,
or
okay.
something. Like that's powerful.
Yeah. It's that's why. Would you want the power to go back or look forward?
Do you
Go
wanna hear-
back or just look forward.
Do you want to?
What do you look forward? Look forward is me
Seeing everything that will happen in the next 10 minutes.
in life. Like
It'd be
I
like
could,
a
look at
it'd
the
be like
news,
a be like a flash. More
in
so
y-
your perspective.
But sorry,
I'm just like an NPC. Then I'm still just sitting here,
I took
probably playing some sort of video game. Like
I took it as you get to
past.
relive your 10 minutes though in the past, right?
Yeah.
So you want to hear a real lame answer that popped up in my head?
Sure.
I would eat like a king and then just go back 10 minutes and be like, I ate pretty healthy.
So that's all you would use it for?
Or like
So-
crack
so
and
a form of magic
I think you
bulimia?
go back to eating. You'd go back to being hungry. Yeah, you're doing like a weird virtual.
I don't know. It just popped up in my head. It's a little sad. Or I do like crack and go back 10 minutes.
You should watch The Whale. Go and see our new What You Watching episode.
Data purging.
Interesting.
I think reliving moments is easier to fix than
Yeah,
trying to move on. I've got all this information in the future and now I have to use it. It's just
Essentially, I mean, you could use it as a very limited form of about time, that father-son time travel story with Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, but with that one, in our scenario of 10 minutes back, he had like sex 7 times in a row.
That's true.
What if
That's better.
A little more enticing for going into the future, like a day into the future, 24 hours.
Okay, so how about this? You can either travel back and forth a year into the future, or you can always just take 10 minutes back. So you have up to a year forward of looking ahead, and you get to travel to the future, or you can just go 10 minutes back.
Ooh, that's way better because
Yeah.
like that's enticing on either
And
side.
same thing, you get to go back and forth for the future, and then the
How much
travel
time
back
do you get in the future, though? Is it still the same 10 minutes?
I'll say the future thing, like you get to travel a year forward, and you just get to go back and forth. Like you can go back whenever you want, type of thing. You get to go
Can
forward.
you stay in the future as long as you want?
Yes.
Oh, then that's better.
Say no.
I don't
man.
know. The
No.
past thing's still kind of enticing, just because if you make any mistake, you can always correct
I
it.
think that's the correction, yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys know Cameron Jones? He's never done anything embarrassing ever in front of anybody. No one has dirt on him.
That's so you got to put a limit on it. You can't do. It's once a year though.
I have a question.
No.
It's once
I
a
have
year.
I have a real question. If you can go back
Once a
if you
week?
can go back and fix mistakes, how long before you're like, I must try murder? I must take life.
Well, I feel like pretty quick for you.
Well, you try
Sounds
it,
like
then
we just
fix
got
it,
your
right?
answer.
Well, I started with I'm gonna watch what I eat, and now I'm gonna take life.
Start killing. No, you started to I'm going to eat
And also, what
everything
would you
and then make it
use?
disappear to I'm going to kill someone, then
Just
go back.
someone. I mean,
Sure,
don't make it
yeah.
personal. And then go
I
back.
mean,
Can
if you're going to
you're saying you
erase
can
it,
fix that though just by not killing them, right?
yeah.
And this is coming from the guy that in a different scenario, but sort of the same scenario, is like, I'm gonna be Slytherin and just Avada Kedavra. Like it would happen. Like you
who,
kill
me?
a little bit.
You mean
Is
what I'm
this
going to
a
be
movie?
doing in like
Is
a
this like
week in
Clock
Hogwarts
Stoppers or
Legacy?
something?
Yeah, exactly what it's going to be like. Can't wait. It's going to be so nice. Clock Stoppers, did I hear?
no, I'm saying, is this a movie? Is this Clock Stoppers or something?
Oh, Nickelodeon didn't get that dark. I believe that's a Nickelodeon movie.
No, not the killing homeless people, but
Sure.
Just
I didn't
just
say it
sort
had
of
to be
the time
homeless.
front.
It could be like the president or
It
something
seemed
fun.
it seemed
Really
like you're
live
gonna kill a
little.
homeless person. Okay.
Like if you can fix it, why kill a homeless people? That almost seems like mean.
Yeah.
Kick them while they're down.
Well, of course.
I have one other question for you.
It is mean.
You have to be the sidekick.
Don't do that.
You have to be the sidekick You can choose anybody, any superhero, any like famous pop culture character. But like if you Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Superman, Superboy, like kind of thing. Just like whatever it is, you're that person's sidekick. Who would you choose? I'll tell you off the bat, I wouldn't want to be Robin. I don't want a Batman Robin scenario. I need something better.
I don't
than that.
think being Robin is bad. I think dealing with Batman's awful because that guy's got nothing but issues.
Oh, sure. That's why
There's no way
that's
that
how
it's
we got
chill.
into the whole thing in the first place.
Yeah.
Issues.
You can't deal with your parents' death.
Superman, unless you're on his level, is going to be pretty hard. You know, honestly, the first thing I said isn't terrible, like a Harry Potter to Ron Weasley. Harry had to deal with a lot of stuff.
You're gonna be Ron?
Ron was just there helping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he had a good
still went through a
family
lot.
life. He got to marry Hermione eventually.
Yeah, everything. He married Emma Watson. Everything's going pretty good for
He
Ron.
moved up.
You know who didn't go through too much was Luigi.
You know what? You're not wrong there. It seems like he could sit out a lot of the time if he wanted to.
He could sit out, but he's always in the game.
And everybody, I mean, I'm secretly, I pick Luigi often before Mario.
You know, this is a little tricky because we don't.
Mario seems
We
too
aren't too
chalk.
superhero fact heavy.
It's not bad. Luigi's not bad.
That's a pretty good answer. I mean, in general,
My first one was Tails, Sonic and
yeah, they seem to be
Tails.
going through the exact same. If anything, that's better because he can fly with the tails. It's kind of a better character.
My answer,
Yeah.
and this may be way off, I don't know. He's not a sidekick, but he's not the main one. And I would pick Michelangelo of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's definitely not the leader.
you
I
do
don't
that?
know. I'm asking.
He's not a leader.
He's not a sidekick, but he's
that's
okay.
a
all right.
group, though. You know what I mean?
He's in the
That's-
group. He's in the
I don't
group.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in the group.
I don't
He's
know
in
if
the
that
group.
counts. You need.
How
more
about
than-
like?
You're thinking like Patrick Star.
Can I
some of those?
Can I
like
get
guys.
weird on you? Be like, oh, the Edge to Bono, or like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
are
those
we
work
in that?
too.
Then
You can, you
I'd
can
probably
get
move
to
to the music world, like, because the Edge can tread or something, you know. But no pressure
But
on
he doesn't
him.
have
No
as
pressure.
much pressure. Okay.
He doesn't get the limelight as much, but less pressure, way less pressure.
Okay. I kind of like that. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have for you for my questions now. Do you guys want to hear about a cocaine cat?
Sure. Is this
is
spin
not
up?
the cocaine
Is not the
bear.
cocaine? Anybody going to see that? Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually watch it tonight or tomorrow.
It's at the Logan Theater. I kind of
This
want
is
Oh
not
God,
co-
I really do miss the Logan Theater.
This is not a cocaine bear, but a wildcat found in Cincinnati with cocaine in its system. So essentially what happened is, I'm going to summarize this. This is coming to us from NPR instead of reading it. But it's one of those cats. What are they called? Those ones that are like those big cats, but are also sometimes
like
serval. It's a serval. It was so a guy got pulled over.
I
On
feel like you guys just like punked me. Like
No,
that was
that's
too
cool.
streamlined.
Have you ever seen those videos of
I'll go
those
with you
cats in
guys.
people's apartments that are too big and they're jumping really high? It's
Sure.
a serval. The
All
point
right.
is,
George's
this guy got
reaction.
pulled over at a routine stop with a serval in riding shotgun, which is like a golden retriever sized cat, essentially.
It looks like a small cheetah, like a
Yeah,
like,
it looks like a small cheetah.
Am
So,
I just getting made fun of right now? Because I've never heard of a serval in my fucking life. And I
It's
feel
a
like
long-legged, big-eared wildcat that is native
on,
to
dude.
sub-Saharan Africa and is illegal to own in Ohio. So this was just a roofing.
just Ohio, or
Oh,
there's
you can
other
own them
states?
legally in a lot of states. Yeah, people have them as pets.
I've definitely seen.
Oh
them
yeah,
on
but they're
TikTok.
very
Like, these
expensive
people,
because
like,
they're a fucking African wildcat.
that thing could kill you.
It could.
Quick.
So essentially, this guy gets pulled over at a routine stop with a
Jordan.
mini cheetah in the car. And
okay, I would have called this. What's a lynx?
yeah, sure,
like that?
whatever. But
I've just
Cool
never
mind.
heard of this,
Yeah.
but okay, go
Serval.
ahead. I'm with you now. I know what it is now.
routine traffic
Well,
stop
I
in
still don't know.
Cincinnati,
This. People have
Ohio.
these in their house.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio. A guy gets pulled over, and this is riding shotgun. Among other things, I think the guy had some outstanding things, and I think he was a drug dealer that had some wild animals in his apartment. So he gets arrested. They take DNA testing to make sure it's not like a cheetah and it is a serval, but they also found high amounts of cocaine in its system. I didn't finish it other than to see that it will just be taken to the Cincinnati Zoo, but that's kind of nutty. Why would you give that animal cocaine? It's already dangerous.
I mean, I think the guy was giving cocaine to a lot of things.
people.
I'm sure if they checked out his guinea pig and his hamster, they all had cocaine in them too. A lot of cocaine going around. I mean, as cute as it. I mean, all wild cats are cute as their kitten form, right? There's just no getting around it. But the problem is, they don't stay kittens.
Then they become a lion.
Yeah, it's like then
These-
they become unbeknownst to me,
These
a
only
goddamn
get
serval.
like mid-sized dog size, and they are pets. People have them, but like they can like just jump and touch the ceiling, kind of.
But
crazy
they have
shit.
super sharp teeth and claws and stuff.
Yeah, because it's a
and you
subset-
probably can't go take your serval, your illegal serval, to get declawed, right? Like in.
I'd
Don't
imagine
love the
not.
name either.
Yeah, I would
don't
imagine
love
not. You guys want to hear about a 60?
I was just looking up serval, but I had to unclick the new spacesuits. They are objectively cool, but I don't like them for.
They're cool.
They're cooler looking, sure.
They're a lot.
I'm
cooler.
all in.
I'm not
I'm
all in. I'm just saying.
It's essentially a gray
I'm
version
in.
of Interstellar, is what they've turned into.
Yeah, they got cooler. It's
Yeah.
They're like whatever. All right,
I'm a
let's
little
move
different.
They're cool.
$63,000 iPhone 7.
They're like the type of jerseys, to make another sports analogy. Your team's ragtag, and then they're like, hey, before the big game, here's the new fucking jerseys. That's what they did to us. And they should have rolled it out. How did they roll this out?
They did just now. It's years before we're going to the moon. It's so many years before we
Yeah,
get
but
there.
this is how they should
This
have
is
rolled
the
out.
rollout.
The night before we went to
Buddy,
the moon.
it's
They're
gonna
like, hey,
change
guys,
now. They're gonna
I just
hear-
thought you might like to go to the moon in style. Like, that's all
Yeah,
I'm saying.
but like they're doing that like 7 years early. So guess what? They're going to hear your complaint. They'll turn them white. They'll change them back to white.
Hey,
That's your big
listen.
complaint.
If you're listening,
They're gonna
if
read
you're
the
listening to my
comments.
complaint, thanks for listening to the podcast. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, getting
yeah,
to
we have a
Urban
lot of
Hermit,
NASA
but we
listeners.
appreciate it.
Do you guys keep your old phones or trade them in typically?
I trade them in nowadays.
I do now. I used to kind of hang on to them.
I didn't know you could do that, and I still have like 7 iPhones. Just
Oh, do you really? Oh, well, this might be.
Well, they're all like shattered.
sure.
and
A woman
were
just
open.
sold her iPhone 7 for $63,000. So, just to sum this up, Karen Green got a new job in 2007. It came with a company phone. She had just purchased a new iPhone 7 before that, so she didn't do anything with it. She just kept it in the box. And now recently it just sold at auction because people wanted that mint condition original iPhone 7. $63,000, Mark. So if you have any good condition old original phones, already the original iPhone is going for $63,000. Isn't that crazy?
It's
Original or number 7?
original makes more sense.
Her
Number
2007
I
iPhone
couldn't imagine-
original.
Oh, that makes a little
shit,
more
the
sense.
one with like the button
Yep.
and like.
Yep.
Oh my god. Do you remember that thing? I
No,
don't.
I don't know if I knew anybody with the original iPhone. I'm sure we
I
did.
think at the time I was like old enough to have a phone. Like I was around, probably like 3, 4.
I got a question for you, and,
Four or
and this
five,
is
I
going to
don't
come up.
Like iPhone.
What
3,
age
iPhone
do you give
4,
a?
iPhone 5.
And this may be a dumb question to lead into the pod. What age do you give a kid a cell phone nowadays?
That's a little. Yeah, you got to now. You start with those like ones that just have mom, dad, police number. You know what I mean? It's just like a call me after the school
Oh,
dance.
right.
I think you start with those around those times when you're dropping them off with friends. So like early middle school maybe now, like
I guess that
6th,
makes sense.
7th. Is it before 6th, 7th? I don't know.
It's like
say
like
13.
10 or 12, I think, is normally somewhere between
What
there.
grade is that?
Yeah,
I don't know what
idea,
grade it
actually,
is.
so-
Anyway, that's just something I'll have to think about amongst the many things. But
Yeah.
You got to start with those safety phones. You got to start with the
You got
life
your
alert.
iPad kid is going to be an iPad kid. Like, probably. That's just the world.
I don't
we
think
live
you can avoid it.
At this
Although
point,
we
though, I
have-
feel like you haven't put a lot of screens in front of it compared to some childs I see.
No, we don't like watch a lot of TV. I mean, sometimes the TV's on with them, and we try not to. But it's like the majority of it is, if it's not the weekend, it's pretty easy because we just come home and like go through our routine and then put them to bed. But what's nice is during dinner we just play like records for background noise. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, I was just
Spot an
doing-
Otis Redding record.
back to our What You Watch, and go back and see our What You Watch in an episode on Cult Classics. But I've been doing a lot of nostalgic Nickelodeon, and now because of streaming and the availability of just our era of TV, are you gonna try to imprint some of that on him, or are you just gonna update and just move on to new shit?
Inevitably, I'll want to like watch some stuff with it, but since there's just a million options,
Are you putting Rugrats on, or are you putting like Bluey on?
Well, that's a tricky question because Rugrats just came back with another reboot. So I mean, which one are you doing?
I mean, I'd like to personally not watch any kids programming, but I know I can't avoid that, so just whatever it is.
We're not asking about what are you going to put your child in for now.
Yeah. I'll try to get them into The Simpsons, the early years, and stuff like that if I can.
Oh, how heartbreaking would it be if he really loved The Simpsons, but the new Simpsons only?
hey,
I
good
don't
for
get
me.
these
I'd have to
references.
learn this. Yeah, it's like I don't get them either. He doesn't. It'd be both of us. There's probably more Simpsons I haven't seen than Simpsons I have seen at this point. You know what I mean?
I'd probably say that's true.
Probably there's probably like 13 years that I've not seen any episodes of.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. I was trying to catch up a while ago, but it's just been too long.
The problem is, like, obviously we've seen so many movies. It's like, how do you...
What do you show them as
What
to
do you
what
show
not
'em,
with all
what you
the
don't?
options? That's been a
I
fear
think
of mine.
inevitably you'll break into the, like, family-friendly ones. So, like, he'll see Sandlot. He'll see Goonies. Like, those type of things.
But a lot of weird, like, artsy movies he might miss.
Yeah, probably. But that'll be on him, you know?
Talk amongst yourselves. I have to pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you probably show him like you wouldn't like put like Sandlot on just for the kid, but like maybe just like he sees it circumstantially just because you wanted to watch.
I do wonder this though, because I don't know, because I'm like the weird thing I think I'll run into is whoever his friends end up being. I think I might be older than those parents, or at least some of them. And some of them might be my age. But it'll be weird to like run into somebody like I don't share their references in any way. You know what I mean? Like the parents' references.
Yeah,
like
no,
I
definitely get
really know.
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's like,
but like you're still like a part of the social media age where like you're gonna still get like references and memes like that like are still coming out.
What's
now.
your thought on this? And I am a whiles away from doing this. If you have kids, do you want to be like, hey, I got to find other parents to be friends with their kids, or are you against that?
I don't know if I'd plan it, but I just would hope it happens like circumstantially. Just like let it. Like hopefully my kid is, I don't know, social enough.
Oh, I want him to have friends, but I don't want to have to.
Drop him
I don't
off
have
and
to
pick him
make
up and do a
friends.
bunch of things. Oh, parent friends.
Oh no, I only want to drop him off and pick him up. I don't want to like have to go and talk to him.
You don't want a book club,
Nope,
Jordan?
I don't want anything.
Okay.
If you're not in this,
Little like
if you're not talking to me on these
cul-de-sac,
screens,
like
oh no,
all the dads meet out in the middle, like have a beer, talk about.
I don't want it.
Well,
The
again,
NBA
though,
finals,
like
maybe,
you're
I
kind
don't
of
know.
nearby a lot of your friends from high school, and a lot of them have kids near the same age. So, is there a possibility that you can just team up with your friends?
No, like that's definitely an example. But I think a lot of the times, what happens in these.
Those kids could babysit you.
Here's what eventually someday. Here's what I'm finding though with the cul-de-sac scenario Mark laid down.
It's just
You
an
can't-
area. It's just where they're.
Yeah, you
what
just
they're
are
near.
by where your home is where your shit is. You know what I mean?
That's true. It's not going to be up to you at all.
Would you live in a cul-de-sac? I feel like everybody knows everybody.
In the words of the
kinda
Burbs,
do
I don't
now.
trust cul-de-sacs.
Like the
There's only
Burbs.
one way in and out.
I mean, I don't live in a cul-de-sac, but I live in the corner of like a subdivision, and it feels like a cul-de-sac. I just want to live in the middle of nowhere, no
You're
neighbors.
starting to notice your neighbors doing stuff, and just
My neighbor here.
Diane, she leaves at.
I saw there was an ambulance in one of our corner houses, right?
Oh shit!
And Megan's like, try to figure out what's going on there. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. She's like, just go look, because she was feeding Avery. So I looked. I should stop saying Avery's name on air so much. I don't know. Bleep it out every time I say it.
I'll start next.
I'll
episode.
I'll just start saying it. Stop saying
Okay.
it. Anyway, she's feeding our kid. And I peeked out there, and one of the neighbors, who's a very nosy neighbor, she was walking her dog. I'm like, you're walking your dog right now where there's ambulances? She was like beelining for it. I'm like, holy shit, I got to move to the middle of nowhere. I don't want to see anybody.
I feel like our dad's kind of like that in some ways, though. You know what I mean?
No, he got to be a neighbor person now. He talks to people.
Yeah.
Now that he has like more neighbors.
Neighbors
it's-
nearby.
yeah.
Maybe that's part of it. You guys want to hear about the Cadbury Egg Bandit?
No.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
It's coming
Lay
to
it on me. Lay it on me.
This is coming to us from NPR News. This happened in England. A man stole a semi-truck that contained 200,000 Cadbury cream eggs. It was estimated at about 48,000 pounds worth of Cadburys. He was found and arrested, but what was his plan? One, like...
Did he
What was
know?
in it?
what
I'm
was
guessing
in, like-
I'm guessing it was an unlabeled truck. Now, if it was labeled Cadbury,
Or Cadbury
Good-
eggs,
good.
Cadgarys, berries, whatever they are.
I heard what I said, but we could have all let it lie, and you chose not to. And that right there, if I had 10 seconds to go back, I'd like go back.
That's what you'd use it once a
Now
week.
knowing how Cameron reacted, I'd take that 10 minutes and I'd like saw his leg chair, like the legs of his chair. Like I would just get back on him. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Here's the problem. You would have to keep
I hope he knew.
10 minute
I hope he
backs.
knew.
It'd be so confusing as to, like, you'd have to repeat so much again, you know?
yeah.
I hope he knew too, because just like imagine the call once he like intercepted the truck. Like,
I got the goods.
He knew exactly where to unload that for about $48,000 worth of profit.
I've got the
Is
eggs.
it? Well, I guess, yeah, seasonally it is. Like, so he would have just very greatly disrupted England's Cadbury egg supply, I'd imagine. 200,000 of them.
Around Easter. Tough.
That was going to
I
affect
guess
somebody.
I don't know. Yeah.
There is
Question.
more-
I don't love a Cadbury
I
egg.
like them strongly.
no.
Too
I
much
like
cream.
one Cadbury egg, and that's fine.
No,
That's
you
fine.
don't.
I don't like
It's-
it.
They're
Especially
too big.
the minis.
Do
Yeah,
they sell minis? Do they sell minis?
They do.
minis.
They do.
Oh my
They do sell
god!
minis.
I've been missing out on the minis because that seems like a perfect proportion instead of the big.
The
Dinosaur egg full of
problem
goop.
is it's still goopy on the mini. It's still Cadbury on the inside or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
but
that
to
filling
less
it's called.
proportion. It's like getting a Christmas tree or pumpkin Reese's Pieces versus the original cup. You know what I mean? Like the proportion matters.
Jordan, you said it's still Cadbury.
I don't know what it's called.
Is that
I don't know
Cadbury.
what do you call it? What's the inside? It's just gooey goopiness. They're like, we couldn't quite figure what to do with the inside, so we just gave you this goopy shit.
It's kind of caramel, almost.
Is it?
It's called Cadbury.
Kind of
Cadbury
caramel.
filling.
I don't know what it is.
It's the worst. I'm not a fan of Cadbury's. I think in our family, who is
Jessica
Jess?
is a fan. Our
Yeah.
oldest sister.
No, thank you.
I also believe though the solid chocolate eggs are also Cadbury brand eggs. I do like those.
Yes, I've had
I love those. I mean, because it's just
More
chocolate.
often
It's
than-
just
yeah.
coated chocolate, hard coated chocolate.
chocolate
The
egg.
weird thing is, when it's all
Foil
said and
egg.
done, I think you probably as a kid get maybe more candy at Easter than Halloween, but it's just worse candy.
Yeah,
Jelly beans,
not great.
not my thing.
It's the same candy, just in pastel,
Yeah, and that's worse.
isn't it?
You want to know?
It's essentially
Well,
the same
yeah,
candy.
but you don't get. I don't think you get the variety as you do on Halloween because you go to so many different distributors. You know, you go house to house. You get a lot of variety.
You know what's a pro on Easter though? Is the shape of the Reese's. The Reese's egg is
That's
pretty
that's
premier,
peanut butter
in my
heavy
opinion.
for sure. As
Can
far
I
as the shapes
actually-
go.
It's heavy peanut butter.
Can I
It
make a
is.
shout
It
out to
is.
Reese's as a candy in general? They don't miss a fucking holiday. They're going to give you the shape
No.
of whatever that holiday is. They're there for all of them.
St. Patrick's? Did they do a 4-leaf clover?
All right, don't question me on it.
Arbor
I
Day?
don't know,
Jordan,
but
do
probably
they have a tree
Don't
for Arbor
question
Day?
it.
Arbor Day is not a holiday. But if any candy did, it would be Reese's,
All right, we have time for
and
one.
they'd give you a commercial for it.
That's true. We have time for one more news story. Do you guys want to hear missing nuclear waste, burnout dolphins, or a 100-year-old piece of mail getting delivered?
Mail.
The mail.
So very, very
We all
back
have mail
to
trouble.
Back to the
Yeah.
Future 3. This is coming to us from Independent UK.
the
Michigan
Future
woman
2.
receives 100-year-old postcard in mail.
Hold on. Imagine if it was Jordan. Like, it's me.
It's me.
That's me for 10 minutes.
He
10 minutes before.
yeah, exactly.
Brittany Keach checked her mailbox from Michigan, and she noticed a very old piece of mail. Also, just question, like, that mailman saw this. Like, how did this still get delivered after 100 years? But I'm
You
going to
just read the address. Got a lot of mail to deliver, Cameron. You're not there to ask questions. You're there to deliver mail.
So I'll sum this up, but it was postmarked from October 22nd, 1920, and it had like a very old stamp on it. And
He got kicked under like the fridge or something. And someone's like,
at this
"Oh,
point,
what's
why
this?"
would they even still deliver it? Just throw it away. But it said, "Dear cousins, we are quite well, but mother has awful lame knees. It's awful cold here." The note ends with, "Don't forget to write us."
Oh my God.
The letter was signed by Flossie Burgess.
Laura Ingalls
So
Wilder.
this letter was not intended for the current resident and the recipient. So she just ended up going on a whole genealogy hunt and like in getting a community of 6,000 people on Facebook to like help her with this mystery. So huge, long story short, I'm pretty sure they got the letter to like the closest living relative because it's been 100 years.
God.
But they did eventually get the letter to the right family. Not the U.S. Postal Service, but this lady and some amateur genealogist.
If
Good
if
for her.
that was me, I may not even tell Megan that I'd be like, just junk mail today. Would have been in the recycling. Wouldn't have even looked twice at that.
You know, it's funny that you say that, and I think this is a felony.
Wouldn't have even noticed.
I think this is a felony, but
You know the 6 pieces of mail you need, and that ain't one of them.
we got a package in Amazon.
You're throwing away your W-2 too.
No, that one's important. That one I know about.
We got a package from
If it
Amazon.
looks governmental, I'll give it a look.
We got a package from Amazon that was straight up just addressed to somebody else. And for 2 days, it's just been sitting here, and I wanted to open it because I was like, well, at this point, I mean, like, it's just ours, right? And then this afternoon, a neighbor knocked on the door being like, do you guys have some Amazon package? And I'm like, yeah. Really happy I didn't open this.
It's like the Nick Miller where you're wearing your neighbor's coat.
Yeah. So I'm really happy I avoided that scenario.
So, we're renting a house this year, and the previous people, anytime you move from a new place, you get some of their old stuff, and we're trying to forward it there. Mm-hmm. This big Amazon package came, and we're like, hey, this big Amazon package came. How do we get this to you? They're like, don't worry. We already know that. Just donate that. Do whatever you want.
Don't open it. Burn it.
Donate
No, so we donated.
We're gonna eat these Cadbury eggs.
It was like the type of box. It was all protein bars.
Huh.
And there was like 20 boxes of 10 protein bars per box.
Protein bars are expensive.
Yeah, so we kept them.
Should.
And we've eaten some of them, and we passed them out to people. We're like, here's
nice.
10, just like our family and stuff. Here's some protein bars. What do kids get around here for Halloween?
Protein bars. Solid pickup.
Is that pre-workout in your trick-or-treat bag there?
Yeah. Anyway, we kept those.
I have one last question, see if we're on the same wavelength. For some reason, what is this treat that you would receive after only a Little League soccer game?
Cream soda in particular,
what would you get after?
So a pop?
No, not a drink.
Treat. Pizza? Like ice cream?
Not a treat.
I didn't play Little League. You tell me, Mark.
After a
you
soccer?
tell me.
No, soccer
Game?
I didn't play soccer, but I think you could get 3 things. You could get orange slices, oranges.
It's orange slices.
But you could get something weird like a popsicle. Soccer's a different sport. I don't know.
Weird.
They'd have random
you
things.
Get orange slices in baseball or football. It seems like to be only a soccer
news
thing.
to me. I'm just learning of this now.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, most of the time when I was a kid, after sports, they'd give us a pop, but that was
it was like, you would get a pop.
It was those smaller 8-ounce pops. Remember those little root beers you could just
I would say in particular, too, the after baseball game for my siblings, I did not play, was a cream soda, orange or grape. It was a lot of
orange and grape.
Yeah, it was like the other ones for some reason, but whatever. On that note, should we wrap up this episode, boys?
Sure.
Thanks for listening to Urban Hermit. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate and review. If you want more content, check out the whole Majestic Jam Network, Cold Classics Podcast, I'm Not Crazy, the Highwire Podcast. And until then, we'll check you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.